What's going on, everybody? All right, I was taking a little bit of Saturday loo time today, not really touching on anything, but here goes. That title letter that's now a motion that the judge allowed to be entered into the record has some damning information on popcorn. Remember I said last night, it's not the stock market, it's the corporate governance and how AMC went about creating APE units and certain rules. I think technically laws, but I think it's rules that they have to go by as far as creating APE and everything else and selling it at what price, what's the threshold, whatever. You can read the letter/motion now. I am waiting until Monday because I want to see what AMC does as a reply motion as far as an opposition. But let me explain something to you. This is my feeling, my feeling on this. Judges tend to kind of make their decision at a certain point. Like they make up their decision. What they're looking for is how to go about wording their decision into an order that will be entered into the record. Understand something. This judge now has, the vice chancellor, she now has a case before her that at the end of the day has exposed things that should have not happened with a stock/preferred equity units by a Delaware corp. You have to understand that she already has a problem with this. I could feel this. This is my personal opinion on this. She has a problem with this. This title letter, which is now a motion, has given her information behind the scenes on an ongoing pattern how AMC was doing nothing to dilute. That settlement will not be seen in good faith, okay? So what they're trying to do with Allegheny and Allegheny taking their money and leaving, but then the rest of us get fucked. It's not, I don't know the vice chancellor, but I am telling you she's looking at thing at bad faith. That is just how it is. So she's going to allow the motion in opposition. We're waiting for Monday for AMC to put it in. Once they put it in, they're going to turn around and make a decision, the vice chancellor, and don't be shocked if she pushes this out further based on the new evidence that was presented on things that should not have happened. I'll back it up a little bit. Remember that she said that she wanted to protect us, the common A shareholders that were not part of the lawsuit, but nonetheless, retail. I think she's still on that track, and that title letter/motion now gave her what she needed. Do you understand? That's what in my opinion, what the vice chancellor needed to put the order together. Look, I've had a long time in life. I've been through a couple of different court cases and stuff like that. Relax, I've never been sued, but it's nonetheless, I've been involved in them. And at the end of the day, when the process is going forward, the judge kind of does like how can I put it this way? First phase decision. And then what the judge uses going forward, the judge uses things like status conferences, motions, people, like supplying information in, like filing an amicus brief like a friend of the court in order to solidify the decision that they already have. They just need the wording. I don't know if the vice chancellor is going to write it herself or give it to her law clerk, but they need something to stand on. So let's say she said, well, APE should have never been created. I can't accept this settlement because at the end of the day, this was done outside of, you understand? I'm not going to say the actual thing where they violated. But let's say she wants to say that. Now she has it there. She actually has a person that's filed the complaint with the SEC, a person that's tried to reach out to Popcorn. We've all tried this before. Popcorn's never answered any of us. I tried to email him. A lot of us have put our grievances forward on things that we saw. But at the end of the day, AMC Popcorn was going like that to us. Why? Because at the end of the day, what was he looking at? Fines? But they need this reverse split now because this is about to blow, and there's a lot of people down with the whole Popcorn crew that are on the other side. And if this thing rips, it's going to take their soul. They need this reverse split merger in order to stop this. This is no different than June 2nd. This is no different than when they created 8. They need this now. But the thing is, the judge already made the decision. That's why she turned around and said no to the settlement and kept the injunction in order, the stay injunction, whatever, the TRO in order. So this way you can't do nothing. And now by allowing this motion to be put in, you have to understand something. If AMC challenges this, be prepared for the vice chancellor to turn around and say, well, on this day, we're going to have a hearing, because Tuttle's willing to go there and talk directly to the judge, and AMC Legal is supposed to go there, and guess what they're going to find? APE was never supposed to be created, and APE was never supposed to be sold at that low price to the other side, to Antera, giving them voting rights. Let me just tell you something. I'm waiting until Monday, because from that, you will get a hearing. And in that hearing, we're going to see everything. This has turned into something that, like I said, I always thought AMC would wind up in court. I always talked about that. It's like, because it was too fucked up. The powers that be allowed it to go forward, because I think at the end of the day, it involved a lot of major players. I have my experiences on how all that stuff came around me, but that's for a different day. You're going to have to wait a certain amount of time for me to talk about shit like that. But I could tell you one thing. Right now, nobody anticipated a Delaware courtroom with the vice chancellor. That was completely out of everybody's radar. And guess what? Allegheny did it in order for them to get, obviously, compensated for the eight losses. Sorry, I just got a bit of a sore throat and drinking some seltzer. Seltzer tastes like fucking whale dick. But nonetheless, you have to understand, not a sponsor, not a paid sponsor, nothing like that. But anyway, this was never supposed to happen. Allegheny filed the lawsuit. They were going to settle. They got their money. Fuck us. And the judge said, what about the other people? That is where things got interesting, because they thought that the settlement would take care of everything. Reverse split, done. We're not at that no more. We're at basically 1,000% cost to borrow. And I see if you can find shares. So understand, what we're going to now, if AMC puts in a reply motion, like an opposition on Monday, the 17th, please understand, the way the judge is going to decide that, I mean, I doubt she's just going to write an order on it. I think she's going to schedule a hearing. And if she schedules a hearing and works it out with Tuttle to go there, and there's open oral arguments, holy fuck. This thing is going to be delayed even worse. And that is what we needed. Because right now, where AMC is at right now, and don't be fooled. If you don't think that the brokers and everything are swallowing up APE and keeping it on the ready, APE is another monster that on its own is been heavily shorted and in high demand. Let me tell you something, keep an eye on APE as well. But merging them together, it may not happen in time. So that's why I'm waiting till Monday. So just stay fluid, stay loose, and at the end of the day, understand this might turn into something that Popcorn and Co. could have never never in their wildest dream have seen. Because if she turns around and says no, holy fuck, AMC is back on 1,000%. I think, I'm going to tell you something. I actually thought about this a little bit earlier today, because I took time away from AMC. AMC is probably right now is probably bigger than it was when we all were together in it. Because they heavily shorted this to the point where, a higher level than before, in my opinion, because they had 8 and they knew there was going to be a merger and a reverse split. Something Popcorn said he never was going to do, but nonetheless. But they had confidence this was going to be done. Think about it. He's doing it with Highcroft Mine as well. But all of a sudden, he was stopped. And now, look at the numbers that are appearing all over the place. Look at the numbers that are appearing in TD, Robinhood, NASDAQ, Google. I mean, everywhere. Like, these numbers are unbelievable. The Vice Chancellor, in my opinion, should hear from Tuttle in oral arguments with AMC Legal that is where she is going to get 100% the ammunition she needs to write an order in opposition of this reverse split / merger. That's my opinion. That's what I would do. I would let them walk into the guillotine themselves and be like, but you broke the rules. You weren't supposed to create 8. And then at that point, everything afterwards was never supposed to happen. That, my friends, right there. Remember what I said before the vice chancellor, before the courts, before any of this happened, before the reverse split, I said it the second I heard about APE. I said, this is an unlawful act. I said it, no way. This is not. This was designed to get around our vote. And everybody hated me till you have no idea. Death threats, all kinds of shit. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. The man just self-diluted. He went around the rules. Like I said, corporate governance, they're supposed to run the issuance of shares and everything on a certain way, the way they just did, and it was unopposed. They just created it out of nowhere. They got a ticker like that. People, this is bigger than us. This is bigger than me. This is bigger. I'm going to tell you motherfuckers, this is something major because I've never seen some shit like this done. This courtroom, this vice chancellor came out of nowhere. That's all I can tell you. So I'm waiting till Monday to see what goes down. Would I like oral arguments? Fuck yeah. Schedule it for May 20th. Fuck it. May 25th. Fuck it. June 2nd just for the fuck of it. And guess what? During that time, China motherfuckers. Maybe I'll be around later. Who knows? I got some melon that tastes like fucking alligator foot. I got this fucking seltzer. God knows where this thing was bottled. This probably was bottled in Guatemala, but they were out of Canada Dry. So, China love.